Neeme.
Hey, no problem. Well, I've arrived at the Westgate. I'm in the superbook, gotta find the poker room. It's this way somewhere. Aha, I see it. You wanna say hi to my guys? Welcome to the Tony Fitton Poker Vlog.
Have fun.
Have fun. It's nice to meet you, bud. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I think it's better to meet you.
I have to go down, you're not as high as I am. I'm the tallest one here.
Yeah, I'll come back for you right now. No, she was happy though.
I probably would have worked.
This is why I don't let my wife play poker.
Does she play?
No.
Oh.
Okay, doing really good. Up about $400-500 bucks. It's a 2-5 game. I got Jesse Sylvia to my right. He's main event guy a few years back. We're having a great time. Won a few nice putts and doing okay. So far, so good. This is great. Alright, you trust me? Say something to the guys on the vlog.
What's up, guys?
Is that it? You're obviously not a big vlogger.
Oh, on the pond?
On the vlog, yeah, come on.
I'm not. I don't vlog. I don't know how to. What do I say?
Okay.
What do I say to them?
You say this is the best vlog I've ever seen, even though you haven't seen it.
This is far and away the best vlog I've ever seen. Send that to Andrew.
Say.
Let him know.
He's talking about his vlog.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. I want Andrew to know. You can legally raise to 15. Did you know that? You know you can legally make it 15 over straddle.
For our players.
Some rooms, you know.
Who?
A lot of rooms make it 20 minimum.
Check.
Oh, really?
Nah. I kind of agree with you too. Oh, you counterfeit me. In a really funny way. I'll take that counterfeit. That was pretty sweet.
So like other aspects of life.
I saw that. He's marrying you. Of course he's feeling like you.
I knew I was behind, but when that turn...
Oh, you didn't think you were ahead?
No, the turn card...
Why'd you bet the turn then?
Why the hell? I mean, I got the...
I can't believe you thought you were down. I don't know.
There's 5, 5,000, 2,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 35. 24, 35? Sounds good. Thank you. Thanks. There's 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 24, 35. Thank you, sir. Alright, man. Hey, I'm here with Andrew. I'm just played his game. I'm a big winner for the night, so I'm really happy.
I'm really happy for you. I'm not a big winner for the night,
I'm sorry,
I'm
Andrew.
directing all my happiness towards you, and also towards your vlog, which is it's such like a heartfelt, heartwarming vlog, you know, like family oriented.
Yes, it is.
It's really cool to see in the poker space, you know?
Yeah, I just do my little thing, and I've got some nice subscribers, so hi to all the subscribers, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for coming here, Tony. Thanks for coming to the game, and thanks for doing your thing.
Hey, no problem. All right, see you next time. Bye. Oh, this place is buzzing. Woo. All these party dwellers and back to the hotel room, get some sleep. It's midnight. These guys have been going on for ages and ages yet, but time for bed. Find a quiet spot for a second. Well, I love the Westgate. It was a pretty fun game of poker. It was a 2-5 game. I was sat next to Sylvia, and he's a great guy. And I won 1-1. I didn't lose many putts. When I was involved, I seemed to come out the winner from the Westgate. Over and out. Okay guys, gonna do some hand reviews here, and this is from the Neeme Brad Owen meetup game that I did in the Westgate. Oh, it was really enjoyable playing with a wide mixture of vlog watchers, recreational players, and a lot of pros. And those guys knew what they were doing. Totally different game than I'm used to. 2-5 game. When I was first going in, I thought I wondered how I would do, and when I got to the table, I was surprisingly calm. I decided just to play my game, and a calmness came over me. It was pretty cool. It was very enjoyable. The table I was at was loaded with good players. I had Sylvia to my right, and his fiance, lovely couple. Really, I'm happy to have met them. They're great people. A couple of vlog watchers and a couple of pros, and so it was really nice to just get on the table and play. When I first got there, everybody was buying in for 1,000, so I did the same. I bought in for the same. I did not want to buying for any less. I wanted to sort of have the same image as everybody else, so I bought in for 1,000. Everybody started playing really tight, a lot of folding. First couple of hands, my blind, I had nothing. Folded my big blind, folded my little blind, and then I was on the button. I looked down, I had ace queen offsuit, so that was really cool. It actually folded to me. So I was in position, good hand. I raised it up, standard raise, $15, and the small blind folded, and the big blind, great fella, he popped it up, made it 65, or no, I think it was a little more. It was more like 75, 80, 85 even. I can't remember exactly what he made it, something along those lines. And I thought, well, I'm in position, I've got a good hand. He's probably just trying to defend his big blind to a weak button raise. So I repped one of the biggest hands. I just made it 215. I smooth 4-bet quite speedily, actually, to the amusement of the table. And the guy insta-folded his big blind, so that was good. It sort of set the tone for the night that I was not going to be pushed around, so that was pretty cool. I just smiled and said I had a monster and moved on. The Sylvia, he was talking to me right away. He was saying that was the fastest 4-bet he'd ever seen. it was quite unused to people doing that that speedily. He was sort of saying that people usually tank for about 2 or 3, 4 minutes before making a 4-bet in some of the games he was in. So so that opened my eyes a little to bet timing tell. So you know, you got to be careful, and when you play these games and you get out of your comfort zone and you're playing games that you don't normally play in, you've got to adapt. You know, you've got to learn, you've got to watch and listen. So we all learn something from every game we go into, and that was one of the things I learned. I certainly didn't slow down my game like I normally do, like I would have normally done. I just kept playing my own game, and I'm not one for, you know, wasting time. So if I was going to make a raise, I'd make it. If I was going to fold, I'd fold it, you know. None of that wasting time stuff. But you know, if you're in a game with other people and you want to be careful that your timing is consistent, that way they won't get a tell off you. So as long as you're consistent, that's the thing. A few hands later, I got ace king. I run really well in this game. You know, I was throwing away all my rubbish hands, but I was playing my premium ones. I got ace king in middle position. There was a $15 raise. I didn't want to get too frisky and re-raise right now. I wanted to see what the flop brought and things like that. It was still early in the game, so I called, and we went 3 ways to a flop, and the flop was ace 10 6, I believe, with 2 hearts. So I got ace king offsuit. I got top pair. It checked to me, so I bet 25, and I got 1 caller. Now the turn was just a 4, an offsuit 4, no help to anything. I bet 45, and he folded, so I took down a small pot there. A few hands later, I'm in the big blind with 5-6 offsuit, and there was a middle position raise of $15. Everybody else folded, so it was heads up. I completed to defend my big blind, and the flop was 9-6-4, so I'd hit middle pair. So I checked, middle position, continuation bet $25. So I smooth called. The turn was another 9, so I checked, he checked back, so it went check check. The river was a 6, so now I've got a boat. Small big blind defend turns into a boat. I let out for just $25 and he folded. But with it being a meetup game, we was having bomb pots. Everybody would throw $5 into the pot, and everybody got 2 cards. There was no action pre-flop, and then the flop would come down and you would contest it as normal, starting with the small blind. A bit later on, we had $10 bomb pots, $10 each, and then we went back to $5 bomb pots for some reason. It was really strange, but this one was a $5 bomb pot, the first bomb pot I've ever played at this meetup game. So here's what happened. I can't remember what position I was in, but I think it was reasonably early position. I had 10 deuce offsuit, the Dole Brunson hand. Anyway, the flop come down and missed everybody apparently, because it all checked around. There was absolutely nothing on the board that connected with any flushes or straights or anything. It was all over the place. The turn was a deuce, so now I've got pair of deuces. Obviously I'm folding to any bet at this point, and it checked around again, so that was just amazing. And the river was a 10, so now I've got 2 pair. I bet out $50. Maybe it looked like I was trying to steal the pot or something, because I got 1 caller, but my 2 pair was good, so I took down a nice little pot there. Now this was an interesting hand. I had Jack 8 offsuit. It's another bomb pot, and so everybody gets to see the flop. This was one of the $10 bomb pots. So I've got Jack 8. Here comes the flop. The flop was 10-9-4 rainbow, so I flopped open-ended. I'm thinking, I'm quite hopeful here. I might catch my card and make a straight here. Who knows? It all depends on what the action is. I was in pretty early position, so I actually bet $20. Now don't forget, this is a bomb pot. $20 is a really small bet into this pot. So the guy two to my left, good pro, he just min raised it to 40. Everybody else folded and I completed, so we get to see the turn, and the turn was a 7. So now I've got a straight. I got the nut straight right now. So I'm really pleased at this. I bet 75 and he called, so that was really good. He was obviously a thinking player, and the only hand that beat him obviously was a jack 8. It actually turned out that he had pocket jacks, so I didn't know what he had at this point, but he called my 75. So he had an overpair to the board. And don't forget, the pot is pretty sizable with it being a bomb pot, so he's not calling too much to win that. Yeah, so the river was a deuce. I bet 210, and he thought a long time about it. He knew that I could be bluffing right there, I guess. Two pair beat him. Jack 8 beat him, obviously, and he thought long and hard about it. A good minute or minute and a half, and he made the call. So he made the call with his jacks. So I was good. I scooped a nice pot, and that was real nice. So at this point in the night, I'm up quite a few $100 here. I hadn't been involved in too many hands that I'd had to fold or lose. Maybe one or two I just let go. There was hands happening like I had pocket queens. I called a raise with pocket queens. I didn't want to re-raise it and get a bloated pot. I think it was 3 ways. The flop come down. King, queen, 10. King, queen, 10. But the way he raised pre-flop, I didn't put him on ace jack though. These guys were going in with premium hands. They weren't going in with ace rag. He could have had ace jack, of course. But I put him more on an ace king type hand, and he let out. I raised him, and he thought long and hard and folded. He laid a set across the table. Do I have? You had top pair beat there, and I just nodded, obviously. He was a nice guy. So if you're watching this, yes, I did. I had a set of queens right there. I wanted to raise it because I didn't want him drawing. If he had an ace king type hand, I didn't want a jack coming off and ruining my hand, etc, etc. So, and if it did, you know, if he did have a 2 pair type hand right there, or an overset, I'm sure I would have found out about it real quick, because he would have raised me back, wouldn't he? Or he would have called and we'd have played it out. Anyway, that was the first table. So I was up quite a few $100. I'm trying to think how much I was up when I moved to. Andrew came and spoke to me, and Andrew and Brad was moving around different tables, and we were switching seats. And he asked me if he could swap seats with me, so I went and sat where Brad was sitting. Brad moved, and Andrew came and sat on my table. So I got into Brad's seat, and I was new to that table. Check Race Charles was there. Didn't get to say hi to him because I was only there for a little while before I left. But hi to all you guys. There was Jesse Caps was on the table. Good pro from Vegas. He's you know, done really well for himself. He's a good player. He was filming. I think he might have started vlogging. So hi Jesse. This is a shout out for you guys. So I didn't know anything about the style of these guys, how they play or anything. So so I wasn't going to go too crazy. Like I said, I was already up. I was already up quite substantially at this point. So I looked down, I got pocket jacks in one hand, and the board run out with a queen high. Guy betting like mad. I just let it go after the flop. I didn't want to. I just didn't want to get involved with a low pair there. A couple of hands later, I had ace jack of clubs. I'm in early position. Jesse Caps was in the middle position with, I have no idea what he had. From what he said afterwards, I'm guessing he had an ace king suited type hand. But he made it, I think he made it $45 to go. And there was another caller to my right. So I was getting a good price. I'd already up in the day, so I'm always going to see a flop with ace jack of clubs, ace jack suited. So so I completed, and there was 3 ways to the flop. The flop was ace high, so I have got an ace, 1 club on board, but I know I'm behind to ace king, ace queen type hands, aces, kings, that type of thing. I'm still not feeling very confident that I want to take this hand fully to showdown right now. But the guy bet 75, I think it was. Not 100% sure what he bet, but I think it was 75. So the other guy got out of the way, and I thought, well, I've got to see one more card. In these spots, I always like to see one more card because it can really improve your holding. I never fall to 1 bet in this situation unless it's really huge bet. So so because if a club comes, you've got equity, you've got you know, that backdoor route. If a jack comes, you know, you're beating a lot of ace king, ace queen type hands now. So so you got to see another card though. So I did. I completed. And the turn was a small club, I believe. So so now I've got that backdoor flush draw. Now also you got to think of the possibility that he could have been raising pre-flop with queens, kings, this type of hand, and he's going to c-bet on most ace-high boards in case you've got like a middle pair or something. So so I didn't want to face a huge 250 type bet that he could have quite easily shoved out. He could have shoved right there, and what do I do, you know? So I don't bet $100 into him, trying to represent strength or an improved hand right here, and confuse him a little. And if he had like kings or queens, he's got to think really seriously now about whether he's continuing or not. Of course, he could come right back over the top here, but he just called. I think it really confused him. Anyway, I got lucky. A club came on the river, and I got the nuts now. So I jammed it all in there, making it look a little fishy. I could quite easily be bluffing in that spot with that big overbet jam all in. And he thought about it a while. He vocalized that I would have had to have you know, gone run of clubs there. And how possible was that? It was a backdoor, so you know, it's highly unlikely, I guess. But he made the call, and I won a nice big pot, and that's the one you can see me scooping right here. And that was how I ended up winning over $1,400 this session. I won some nice hands. I don't think I lost a hand at short. I might have lost 1 or 2. I let a couple of spots go, but overall I just picked my spots, and the cards run good for me. So it was a great session, and I really had a great time. Those guys are good. I'd love to play with them day in, day out, because I just had such a great time. Thank you, Andrew and Brad, for hosting your meetup games, and thanks for everybody watching this vlog. Absolutely love having you watching my vlog. If you like, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe. Tell all your friends, share it amongst your friends so that I can get more subscribers. That's always good. And I'll see you next time.